the Sunday Night Anthem, presented by Uber Eats.
What a glorious night on the Front Range of the Rockies. In Denver, another sellout crowd fills Empower Field at Mile High, home of the Denver Broncos. And tonight, their new franchise quarterback, Russell Wilson, takes on a familiar foe. It's Jimmy Garoppolo and the San Francisco 49ers. Week 3 of Sunday Night Football here on NBC. And thanks for having us in. Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth, Melissa Stark from the sideline. In a little bit. Both teams are 1-1. Chris, let's start with the Niners. They win last week, but they lose Trey Lance, who was to be their starting quarterback. Boy, they glad they didn't trade Jimmy Garoppolo now. Does Jimmy G give them a better chance to win this year?
I think in the short term, yes, just as experience should help. But this was never a short-term play. It was supposed to be about the long term with Trey Lance, about his arm strength, his mobility, could have put him over the top and win a Super Bowl. Now it's going to be at least next year before they find out anything at all about Trey Lance and whether or not he's the answer.
In the interim, it's a guy we know, Jimmy G. He gets George Kittle. They're all pro tight end back. On the Denver side, this has gotten off to a great start with Russell Wilson here the first couple of games. Offense booed at home last week. What do they need to do to get the offense going again?
Well, let's start with the obvious. Russell Wilson is being asked to play in a different way, more under center, more play action. A few years ago, Aaron Rodgers was asked to do the same thing in this same offense. 2 MVPs later, I think he's glad he did. I think Russell will be too. We'll just see how it goes tonight.
He's happy to see the Niners 16-4 against them all time. 2 franchises that combined to go to 15 Super Bowls. Stars on the field as well. Niners and Broncos for you on Sunday Night Football.
NBC Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
A matchup like this, for me, it's not a conflict of interest at all. Sure, on one side, I've got the team I spent 21 years with.
The Broncos are world champions.
Went to 5 Super Bowls, a couple more AFC Championship games. Too many memories to count.
What a great career.
On the other, my son.
The San Francisco.
In terms of who I am rooting for, let's just say blood is thicker than pigskin. You want to talk about who's going to win, you got to talk about the quarterbacks.
Came here for one reason, and that's to win.
Everyone in Denver is excited about this guy.
Let's go, baby. Let's get it. Come on.
And how could you not be?
Whatever it takes. Let's go. Set the tone. Set the tone.
Actually, it's second acts for both quarterbacks.
Yeah!
Second chances to remind this league why they've been in the spotlight for years.
Welcome back, Jimmy Garoppolo.
We're there tonight with lots of friends and lots of memories, all flooding back. They always do. But that's part of the fun of watching the next generation. Nights like this, they just remind you why you love the game.
And seeing him reminds us of why we love Mike Shanahan. Loved here in Denver. There's his wife, Peggy, they're here to watch their old team against their son. For more on Kyle's starting quarterback, here's Melissa Stark.
Mike, Jimmy Garoppolo told us that he was jacked up when he came in for an injured Trey Lance and got the win last week, and that his emotions are high because he never thought he would be in this position. The past 8 months have been quite the ride for him. Last season, when he lost the NFC Championship game to the Rams, it seemed like Garoppolo had played his last game as a 49er. But in March, he had surgery on his throwing shoulder, which cooled the trade market and kept him out of action all offseason. Garoppolo reported to camp in late July, and after practicing on his own for a month, he restructured his deal to become Trey Lance's backup. Of course, that all changed last week. He told us that chip on his shoulder will always be there, but that there's a freedom to this now. He can play like there's nothing to lose.
For his coach, Melissa, Kyle Shanahan, who grew up here, won a state title as a player at Cherry Creek High School, and his opposite number tonight is Nathaniel Hackett, who's also a second-generation coach. His dad, Paul, was head coach at Pitt, USC, longtime NFL assistant as well. Nathaniel, the offensive coordinator with Green Bay the last 3 years. Denver won the toss, deferred the option to Brandon McManus. Last one left from the Broncos' Super Bowl 50 win. We'll kick it off, and Ray McLeod is the return man for San Francisco. Haven't seen a cloud all weekend. Beautiful weather tonight in Denver, and off we go. Directional kick takes McLeod to the 2. Try to come across and barely gets back to the 10-yard line. The initial hit came from Aaron Patrick, who was cleaned up by the rest of the special teams. And here comes the 49er offense.